Buenos dias, amigos y amigas. And in this video, I'm going to talk about biking in the Lake Chapala area. And whether you're going to ride an e-bike, whether you're going to ride a manual bike, or one of those tourist bikes. But first, I want to say that in Mexico, for years, they have been developing bike paths in different cities. But the one in the Lake Chapala area is a little bit different. You can go from, let's say, Chapala all the way to Jacotepec biking on the bike path there. So you'll find it really enjoyable. I've done quite a bit of e-biking in that area all over. I biked from through the different towns, took stops, really enjoyed it. I take the e-bike, I do some shopping, or I go from town to town and do a lot of things on my e-bike. But I want to say that I interviewed a guy in, I think, 2021, and this gentleman had an e-bike, and and I may re-upload that video to show you those who haven't seen it. Now, the bike path, when I first got there in 2019, it was not complete. It wasn't finished, and then at some point it got completed. It was going, I think it was actually built, if I'm not mistaken. They started it in Chapala, and they built it up toward Jacotepec. And I do remember at one time they were still building that bike path, putting that bike path in El Chante. But it's a great place to ride a bike. You can now go all the way to Jacotepec, and it's very interesting. So I want to also say, in that video that I put up a few years ago, I've uploaded it before, re-uploaded it. That gentleman was showing me a lot about bikes and his e-bike and how much he enjoyed it. It's a great thing. So what I did is I decided to go and rent an e-bike, and I did. And one of the reasons was, number one, because I wanted to ride it. Number two, I thought maybe I could make some video footage to show some family and friends up here in the U.S. Me zoom along the bike path, riding on the bike path. So I did that, and I thought it also is a responsibility to the viewers. If I'm talking about e-bikes, I should show you that I actually am riding an e-bike. So I put up some e-bike videos, and I still have some more in the can, in the archives. I did some even recently in Chapala, and also at Parque de Cristiania. Great place to ride an e-bike. But once again, the e-bikes go, the bike path goes from now North Chapala. You can get, there's bike paths on both sides of the avenue, Francisco I. Madero Avenue now. A couple of years ago, they put in a new bike path, one going one way on one side of the highway or there, and then one going on the other side. So they go different ways. But the bike paths along the rest of the ways, they'll have lanes that'll be coming and going back east and west. And you want to get on those, but you want to be careful too when you're getting on them, because you want to use your certain bike etiquette, and I'm sure you will, and be careful, be considerate of other e-bikers or bikers. But I want to also say that wear a helmet. You know, up here I have bikes. I have two bikes in my garage. One's a good bike, a really good bike for riding long distances, and I wear a helmet. But when I was down there, a little bit maybe too adventurous, and I didn't wear a helmet. But next time I ride an e-bike in Mexico, I'm going to do the same thing I do here, and I'll be wearing a helmet. So that's one thing to consider. You'll probably want to use a helmet. Now, when I decided to be responsible to the viewers and want to make some videos of me actually on the e-bike so you can see that I'm on the bike path, what I did was I picked up a mount here, and you can do this. Many people already use them for their phones, and it'll keep them in the vertical position and have their phones on them. But I found out you can turn this and use your phone horizontally, so that's what I did. And they fit really good. Now I have a big phone with a case, iPhone 15 Plus. It's got a pretty big, thick case, and it fits in here really well. So you could do that. Now, as far as exploring, this is one of the ways you can explore the Lake Chapala area, the north side of Lake Chapala, by going all the way from Chapala to Hakotepec. Now, I want to say that also that you'll find that you can still ride an e-bike on certain streets where it's, I guess, acceptable to ride e-bikes, but you can't on the main highways in the Chapala or Ajijic or Hakotepec area. On the Carretera Highway, cannot ride e-bikes. You can ride motorcycles, things like that. Nor can you ride golf carts on those now, on the highways. Now, you can ride golf carts all over the towns, but I don't see people riding golf carts. I don't know if they're supposed to or not, because they're pretty wide, and they sometimes, I think, they may take up 2 lanes or go into the next lane, actually. So I haven't seen much golf cart riding, and I'm not sure if it's actually allowed on the bike paths. Now, motorcycles won't be allowed on the bike paths either, but you can ride different types of e-bikes, and there are now, it's trending, and I made a short video. There are certain types of 3-wheel carts that you can ride on the bike path, and they're small. They're like golf carts. Some of them have roofs on them, and they're narrow enough where they can fit in the lane, you know. And also, if you're riding a tricycle type of e-bike or a tricycle kind of manual bike, those will fit in the lanes on the bike path. But I don't believe golf carts would. Taking golf carts on the access roads are a good way. I put up a video before showing you how you can take a golf cart. I did it from a taxi, and you can take the golf carts all around the lakeside area, but you have to use different routes. That's a whole nother video. But I want to stick to biking, e-biking, and talk about people who have tourist bikes too over there. Now, very accessible. There's a lot of different bike shops where you can get manual bikes and things like that. But there is one place in particular, diagonally across from the Ajijic bus terminal. You can find e-bikes, manual bikes. They'll supply you with all the accessories that you're going to need for your biking, and you're getting around the Lake Chapala area. And I'll tell you, you'll have a blast. Once again, I went into each and every town in the Lake Chapala area on an e-bike. Now, I do have some videos. I have uploaded some of the videos, but some of them didn't come out too well, so I didn't upload them. But I do go deep down into the towns and up in the hills too. And that's provided you get a bike with big tires. Now, when I was first e-bike I rode had just the regular size tires, and that was good, and that did work. But now you want to, I would suggest they got a lot of bikes with bigger tires, wider tires, and those are great to use too. When you get down to the Lake Chapala area, for those who aren't down there, you're gonna really see a lot of people biking, a lot of elderly people, and or senior citizens, young people will be biking, people, all kinds of people will be biking. I've even seen kids on the bike path. Now, some of them will ride manual bikes and some of them will ride e-bikes, but you get around really good over there. Now, I took my e-bike up into the hills, almost up high, pretty high up, I would say. I remember going up in Chula Vista. I would go over there in San Antonio, Go up there, amazing heights there. Also, La Floresta. I would take my e-bike up into La Floresta. Also, there's a place where Donuts used to be. I used to take my e-bike up there. It had good shocks on it. It's really good. But you can go up pretty high, and it'd be much easier to do things and explore that way if you're going to explore on your bikes, because you won't have, it's going to be pretty hard to ride up there if you use a manual bike. And not everyone who has manual bikes ride up there. So many of them eventually get an e-bike. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the bike lights. Now, you want to get lights on your bike. This is from my bike here in the States. Not everyone has lights, and it will get dark. I've ridden the e-bike at night and rode an e-bike in the morning before sunrise. So you can ride your e-bikes then, but when it gets a little bit dark, I would suggest getting a light, because you want to see what's coming at you, so you'll know, because when it gets dark, you might not know until just so many feet in front of you. So it depends upon the lighting on the streets, these street lights and where they're located and such like that. Also, what else? You can get baskets for those bikes. Like, you can do grocery shopping. I used to go to different grocery stores. I remember when I was living in La Floresta, I could get around, put basket in the basket, basket goes right onto the handlebars. But you can also get bikes with baskets in the rear, in the back too. And then you'll have lights. You want to get lights not only in the front, but also in the back. And you can get those. You get these little flicker lights, reflectors. Or also, what you can do is wear some kind of reflective material. Now, it's a lot of fun. You'll get around. It's one of the activities you can do when you get there. Now, for those who might have stability issues when they're on bikes, might be best to get a trike. And you can get e-bikes that are trikes with big baskets on the back that do fit in the lanes there of the bike path, and get around all over lakes. I'd say you're living in Ajijic and you want to go to the Mercado over in Chapala, you can take your bike out that way and get a bunch of fruit, vegetables, whatever you want to get from the Mercados or the Tianguis. Now, I do know you're not going to have a lot of space, or I've never seen one in the Ajijic Tianguis, the outdoor markets there. They just have too many people walking, so I don't think you want to do that. But you will have places they've been putting up. I remember someone saw one of the e-bike videos that I put up, asked me about how you can lock your e-bike up. There are places to lock them up. If you go down, take them down to the Malecons, and even on the Carretera Highway. All along there, you can find places to lock your e-bike. Now, another thing is, if you're exploring, you really want to explore, getting an e-bike would be probably the best way to go, because when you're going down to the Malecons, with exception of the Chapala Malecon, which is all smooth pavement going down that way, but a lot of the other Malecons, like the Malecon in San Antonio, Tlayacapan, you're going to be going down on cobblestones for a few or several blocks to get to the Malecon. You're going to have to ride up, and that would be pretty strenuous for most people to ride back up. Not all people, but most people. And if you're going to the Ajijic Malecon, you're on the Carretera, you're on the bike path, you want to go down there. They have actually smoothed out the roads over there, and they smoothed out Cologne going down to the Malecon pretty easy. And a good thing about going down, on an incline going down, or being up in the hills and then coming down, is if you don't want to pedal, you don't have to pedal. You could just let the thing coast. But going uphill, could be pretty strenuous where if you're going out and doing a lot of exploring. Now, um, Ajijic, I went up in Ajijic, Chula Vista. Where else did I go up in the hills? Another part of Ajijic. You can take Cologne and go up in the hills that way too. And I like doing that. Now, there are certain parts of, there's a hiking trail people can go on. I haven't been on that hiking trail, but I've been past it. I've never seen any bicycles or e-bikes going up there. So there is a hiking club that meets, there may be, but I haven't seen any. There's a hiking group that you can join or get together with. They meet twice a week. They used to meet twice a week at Minwa restaurant in the morning, and then they would hike, feet on the ground up in the hills, but explore that way. But if you want to get around all the towns, you can. Now I'm telling you other Malecon. If you want to go down to the Malecon in San Juan Costa, I'm going to recommend that you use a wide-tired, once again, a wide-tired e-bike, because going down there on the cobblestones, of course, you can coast on your bikes, but coast down, but coming up will be a little bit difficult. So an e-bike would be better, much, much better. And also, if you're getting an e-bike, say you're getting like one of those racing bikes, I wouldn't recommend really to ride one in between those cobblestones. That could be pretty risky. The tires are very thin. You can get caught up in those. Now, I haven't seen anyone get in an accident as a result of riding different bikes on the bike path or going down into or where there's a lot of cobblestones. But, I would suggest getting bikes with wide tires. Also, if you're going into Jocotepec, going into the Malecon there, it's right off the highway, and you could probably make it on a normal or regular bike with just average size tires. But then you'd be doing a little bit of, it wouldn't be too strenuous. I would say you could do that too. But you can ride the e-bikes up in the hills and things like that. I once went to San Juan Costa, and I went into an all-Mexican, pretty much almost an all-Mexican neighborhood on the north side of the highway. And take the e-bike, just continue, just go pick a hill or pick a calle or something right up it. You'll have a lot of fun. And I've also been into lower San Juan Costa and the other towns, Riberas del Pilar. I've taken it there. You'll be going down there a little bit, but and then you'll have to come up again. But also, let me think. I would really suggest an e-bike. It would be good, but take a regular bike, and if you think you can go up those hills and on the north side of the carretera, go for it. There are some expats that are extremely, these are really workout people. These are people that work out, they ride bikes, they're like almost professional cyclists. They can ride a manual bike, or people that really have it in them, they can get up and down or all around different certain places. So, but you can get up high. Once again, when I lived in La Floresta, I went up there on an e-bike, and I rode it down on La Floresta, South La Floresta, through Ajijic. You don't always have to use the bike path. You can there's different routes you can take. Let me think. There's so much I could say, but there are places you can also pick up manual bikes, used bikes, for a very good price. But if you're looking for something new and you want to go to that bike shop, just diagonally from, it's located diagonally across from the Ajijic bus terminal, that's a good one too. That's great. That's where most of the expats go. They go there and relocate. They go there. If you go there, And then that's a good opportunity to find out about the type of bike you might want to use. At any given time, you're going to have a lot of expats at that bike store, and you can meet, they can tell you, hey, well, this might be a good thing, or this might be a better bike. But also the people at the bike shop, they can tell you about the bikes. They know quite a bit about the bikes, and they can supply you with the accessories that you need at the bike shop. So that would be a win-win situation going there. But if you want to go, there's other places you can buy used bikes around the area, and they're good too. There's some good used bikes. Lady in a previous video, she saw, I think that video where Susquehanna, Six Corners over there, I was shooting videos, showed you a bike shop there. There was a kid repairing bikes. You can find a bike there. That's actually in West Ajijic. But I love going down into San Juan Cosala. You're going to find some of the streets there in the Mexican neighborhood there. It runs parallel. I can't remember the name of the calle, but it runs parallel. It takes you a long ways west, and that's smooth. It'll take you back up to the highway. Actually, I think I did an e-bike video going through there and up, but that's a good place. But you can ride a lot of different places, but be careful. Get to know, get a feel for the area. Now, the Mexican people in the Lake Chapala area, they're very courteous of e-bikers. They're very watchful, and they are very nice to the e-bikers. They look out for them, and because not necessarily because we're expats, but a lot of Mexican residents ride bikes too. So Mexican residents are pretty good at watching out for e-bikers or bicyclists, whether they're Mexican resident or an expat. And also, there's ways that you can get around. If you see one coming from a fragmento, or coming from one of the calles, sometimes they'll be a little bit into the bike path, but most of the time, no, they won't be in your way. And if you do experience something, you can go skirt right around them, and just go right around them. That's what I do. I don't mind if someone comes in and drives into the lane a little bit, but you do have to be careful because people will be turning into their calles, especially no matter what side of the, actually on the north side of Carretera, because on the south side of the Carretera, there isn't a bike path. So on the north side, they'll be coming up and down the streets and going over to the Carretera, and be careful. It's always good to be careful anywhere you're at, no matter if you're in the U.S. or Mexico, but they are very mindful of people on bikes. Also, I want to say is, get these lights. I mean, definitely. I rode one for a while without a light for a few days, but I found out if I want to ride at night, this is the way to go. Get one of these. And most likely, most people, when they do go to get bikes, they'll pick up lights. They may even pick up clamps like this, but me, definitely wear a helmet. And I'll tell you where the bike path isn't, where you won't find the bike path. You won't find the bike path on the Libramento highways, but a couple years ago, they built a bike, they added onto the bike path, and it will take you all the way up to North Chapala, and you can return that way. But don't go on the Libramento from Chapala. There's no bike path there. Going down to San Antonio and Ajijic, no bike path on that Libramento, nor is there a bike path on the Jacotepec Libramento over there, that highway going up there, where the Jacotepec sign is. But you can continue to ride into Jacotepec and ride up there. So, do it. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. Let's see, what's the time? This is a really lengthy video. They're fun. I would suggest getting down there, looking at the bikes, and talking to the people at the bike shop, and also talk to other expats, and they can share their experience with you, because many of them have been riding bikes over there for years, so they can tell you about things, and you'll strike up all kinds of conversations with people. It's a good way to get to know people, even just going to the bike shop, looking at a bike, and they're a lot of fun. I saw small kids, kids that were pre-teen actually. People will bring their kids down to the lakeside area, and expats or people that live there, and I've seen their kids on bikes, and I'll tell you, some good bike riders over there. These kids can ride, but a lot of people, you can get the ones with the fat tires, the wide tires. You can get those on a manual bike too. Say you want to get a manual bike, you can get them with wide tires, and you can now get them on the big bikes. When I first was biking there, on the big bikes, the big frame bikes, they didn't have the real wide tires when I first got there, or when I first started riding bikes. Now they got bikes that came out with the wider ones. So there's all kinds of bikes you can ride, and enjoy yourself. That's one of the many activities that you can do. One of the many, many, many activities you can enjoy in the Lake Chapala area. So with that, I'm going to put up a map soon, and it's going to give you the miles and distances from the towns, and miles in kilometers, give you the distances. And in another video, what I'm going to do is show you where the bike path is, or where the bike path is, and where there's not bike paths. So I'll give you that information too. So you can ride bikes also outside of Chapala. There's a highway there. There is no bike path outside of, like, say, over when you're getting over to if you're going on Gonzales Gallo from the Malacan up that way, and you want to go over to, say, Santa Cruz de Soledad, that would be a tough place if you're going on a bike there. There is no bike paths going up there, and I don't see e-bikers or expats riding bikes up there, but you can get one if you live in the town. You can use it to get around. That would be a pretty good idea too. You can get around the different towns, but riding up there on the highway, I don't think it might be a good. I haven't seen it, but I have seen tourists. Not tourists, but people on tour bikes. Guys they are moving along, and they race along that highway. And also, I want to say, they get together in groups, a lot of Mexican guys, but they're very considerate of you, the drivers. They're not taking up the lanes in the highway. They stay to the right, and they give you very much consideration, and give them consideration too. You will have enough room to go past them, and if you can move over a little bit. That would be a good thing. If you needed to stop, I always say try to avoid getting really going too fast past them when you're on the highway. Try not to. I don't want to startle people driving when I'm driving, but look out for the other guy, and they look out for you. And the Mexican residents are very considerate of us, and they do like us there, and a lot of Mexican people ride. Now, I noticed that there was the type of e-bikes. Certain e-bikes will be more money. So a lot of the people the Mexican locals, they would ride manual bikes, and they still do. But some that can afford, say, an e-bike, they'll ride an e-bike, or they got these new things out that are trending, and they're like golf carts, but they fit on the bike paths. They're buying those. And also there's other types of smaller framed e-bikes that now they've come out with different kinds, and they're getting different kinds. I know one of the musicians likes to ride those. He's an older man, and but he's light, you know. But if you're a bigger frame person or you're heavier, you might want to get into another bike, and you can get that information. You could also do research on different e-bikes, and I'll give you a lot of information. Just do different research for those who don't know much about the e-bikes. So I think I haven't covered everything. I may put up another type of video. There may be something I may have forgotten, but if I do, I'll review this video. I'll put it in there. So I want to say thanks. Have a good time. It's a great time. Once again, you can get to the Malecons on those bikes. Things like that. They're great to ride. Oh, wow. I want to mention, I got some e-bike videos. I may show you some clips of. I've actually got a lot in my archives or my phone storage, but I recently rode in Parque de Cristiania over in Chapala. Oh, what a park. Beautiful nature. You're out in nature there. It is a beautiful park, and that is a must-see. Getting down to Parque de Cristiania. A lot of people like to ride, Mexican residents like to ride on their bikes there. I rode an e-bike through there. You can, and just be mindful of the people that are there. But you can, around the lake, it's beautiful. It's around the lake over there. You'll be right on the lake. There's a red gravel area you could go to, but there are certain sidewalks and things, pathways you can go on in the park. Right out there in nature. It's beautiful. And by what I understand, they're putting a lot of money. I knew about that last year. They're going to be renovating. If it's not, we're not doing it already. They're going to renovate that park and put a lot of money into it. So I always thought it was beautiful anyways. I thought it was cool. I go over to Parque de Cristiania. I shoot hoops over there sometimes and ride the e-bike through there. I have some footage, but the other e-bike I was riding was a different type of e-bike. It was from a friend of mine's son. From a friend of mine, and his sons were riding it, and they'd been hard on it, you know. They're teenagers, and I didn't quite have the clamp. The landlord, he was my landlord, and he's a friend of mine. He made a makeshift type of gadget where I could put my clamp and my iPhone on it, but my iPhone kept falling off, and probably because of the clamp. But you will find that they'll be pretty stable. Now, one time, I think I had an iPhone 8 when I was first e-biking there in 2022. I was going to Chapala. Now, listen to this. And I was almost in Central, pretty close to Central. And I did upload that bike video. Maybe I'll re-upload it. I don't know if I still have it or if it's still in the archives or the storage. But all of a sudden, I'm riding on the bike, and all of a sudden, something happens. And then all you see is upward, you see the sky. That was because my phone fell off the clamp, and thank God I had a good case. Get a good case, a strong case on these iPhones. The phone, there's no damage to the phone, and someone thought I fell. They listed in the comment section, "Oh man, how are you? Okay?" I never fell. What I did is once I saw that, I noticed that the phone was off the bike. It fell out of the clamp. I stopped. I pulled over. I set the bike down gently, and that was in 2022. And the camera, or the phone, was still recording, and it was looking up. And then you could see me. I picked up the phone and got on, and I cut the video there. But some of the people were worried. "Oh, did you fall off the bike?" Things like that. But no, that wasn't the case. But anyway, Have a good time in the Lake Chapala area. E-biking, manual biking. Oh, one thing I want to mention too, I forgot to mention, during the rainy season, you're going to have a lot of rain, of course, and in certain areas, you're going to have some of the mud or the silt or whatever will come down onto the bike path. So you want to be careful, especially when you go to like areas like San Juan Coastline. You will notice there might be patches of where there's mud. So you want to really, when you see them, make sure you slow down. Slow down, because I noticed on my e-bike, whatever, or on the e-bike that I rented or the e-bike I used and borrowed from people, the tires can set in that mud or that, and it'll kind of move your, what's the word for it? It'll slide your back tire over, even your front tire, but your back end too. And you want to be careful. Go slow. If you see someone that's going fast or something like that, experience it for yourself. Try to take it easy, take it slow, get to know the bike path, and then you'll speed up. And then I also want to say, even on the e-bikes, you can still get your exercise, because you can put it, it's got certain gears, and you can put it in a certain gear, and you can pedal the bike while the engine is going, or while the battery is going, while the bike is going, and pick up a little more speed. It would be easier. You can shut it off, put it in different gears, go down to the bike store, that's directly across or diagonally across from the Ahihi bus terminal on the Carretera, right there in the heart of Central. They'll explain things to you, and you can also shut it off. Like what I used to do was shut the bike off. Like if I'm going down an incline or something, like I'm going down to the Ahihi Malecon or the Plaza, I can shut the bike off, and then it won't be running on electricity. And then there's times when I shut it off on the bike path and still continue to pedal, because I want to get a little exercise or more exercise. But you can shut the battery off, and they'll give you all the information at the bike shop, and you can conserve some energy from the battery that way too. But they're nice and have fun. It's a lengthy video. I kind of had some fun giving you this information, but I just want to say thanks for viewing, and enjoy yourself when you're down there, and have a great day. Adios, amigos. Hasta luego.